about his vision, and his company is actually about vision. So, let's hear both your vision and how you're using vision to deliver, disruptive experiences.
All right. Thank you, Ravi. Navani with Uncanny Vision, and as the name says, we provide uncanny computer vision solutions for IoT devices. So I have one of the devices in hand. This is one of our prototype devices. What we are trying to do is basically bring human-like vision to these devices. You probably see surveillance cameras like these all over. Today, there are over 300 million surveillance cameras worldwide, about 30 million surveillance cameras in India. All of them are what we call blind. They record the things. Even if there is a very violent crime happening in front of it, they'll just record and not really do anything with it, unless a human being is actually looking at it, which defeats the point of having a camera. What we are trying to do is make these cameras intelligent by themselves, so they can understand what's happening and immediately raise an alert to police or to security agents, and immediately some action can be taken. Just 2 years back, there was a major robbery that happened, which really shook a lot of people in terms of an ATM in a very busy area in Bangalore, where a lady was hurt. Today, we can say with this kind of solution that we have, we're doing pilots right now. We want to very rapidly deploy this. Our software, something like that, if it sees, immediately it'll raise a red flag, alert, beep, immediately to deter the crime as well as send an alert. If you today go to a supermarket and if you walk out with a piece of cloth or a book you haven't paid, it'll beep. You know that happens. Why can't that happen in an ATM, for example, or in an elevator, different places where cameras are there? And the reason is, vision is hard. If you look at the human brain, half the brain goes to just processing vision, an image. So it's very difficult. So we are engineers, we are geeks. So we try to take the hardest problem and solve it. So that's what we've been doing at Uncanny Vision. Myself and my partner Ranjit, we're ex-chip industry geeks. I was in the US working for a chip industry called Xilinx. My partner at Texas Instruments. So we had been helping companies bring this kind of vision to devices, but we always felt they were not running fast enough. And we felt as a startup and being in Bangalore, we can run fast. And we're able to reach incredibly a lot of customers sitting in Bangalore. I've been in the Bay Area, seen a lot of exciting startups there. But I feel Bangalore is a much more interesting place. I can reach out to customers, Japanese customers like Toshiba's and Ricoh's, sitting in Bangalore and Koramangala. We could go to Manyata Tech Park and reach out to US customers who need this kind of solution in their retail for Target. We can reach out for Scandinavian customers who are doing elevators sitting in Bangalore. They're just like 2 kilometers away at EGL. So incredible place to be in Bangalore to build this kind of solution. So we're in a pilot phase right now. Hope I can take the opportunity here to seek out right now banks that we're specifically focusing on ATMs today to make that really safe. And then this, you can think of it can be applied to other areas, but that's where we're starting now. And these cameras we're doing, this is a pilot camera right now, and we won recently a large award as part of the Design in India initiative between Qualcomm and NASSCOM and the central government. And we hope to take that, and we're already working with a Bangalore company to make much more 10,000 unit volumes of these devices and scale very broadly, very fast. And one of the things we're also leveraging is all of the intelligence is in the software, but hardware, what we're doing is smartphones are the most common electronics being built in India today. And our camera is built fully on the smartphone platform, so we can scale and manufacture a lot easier, a lot faster. So that's our approach, and we hope to scale with thanks to all the support from NASSCOM, the government of Karnataka. We're in the NASSCOM 10K warehouse at Bangalore. So very thankful for all the support we've received in Bangalore. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I recall when we first met, I was like, are you sure you want to join the warehouse? Two very experienced executives coming back, and they insisted they come and they be part of it, and they're still part of it today. We hope you'll be one of our stars. Thank you, Naveen. So now last is, at the heart of everything we're building and manufacturing going forward is going to be some form of electronics. And so Mr. Narayan is going to tell us a little bit about what they do to help companies bring products to life, right?
Yeah. It's a privilege to be part of this great startup co-founders and the people who are making huge products. Nice to be here. Black Pepper has two missions. One, to build a electronic system design company, which is valued at $1 billion, based out of India by 2021. It's a huge vision and a dream, but we are on our journey towards it, actually. Number two, how do we enable innovators, actually? We strongly believe in the world of democratized innovation, wherein innovation no longer happens in the four walls of huge corporates, where innovation, manufacturing, implementation, and marketing all happens within the four walls under the same brand. And Black Pepper feels, with so many stories you hear from the stage, innovation happens at every walks of life. It can be an idea coming out from a farmer or a auto rickshaw guy or from any walks of life. And Black Pepper truly believes if these ideas, instead of getting thrashed before it is even being talked about in the right forum, by considering this with the Black Pepper's product design capabilities, we will be able to realize these ideas into a commercially viable products. And we are on our mission to do so. As part of the mission, and we have started a council called Pepper Council. Pepper Council tap ideas and harness ideas from every walks of life, and anybody can submit an idea there. And we have, with our proven engineering technology capability and silicon capability, system capability, and the product design capability, we have proven that any idea at any walks of life submitted can be taken to a product. We have been proven in multiple forums, as we have proved ourselves as a silicon turnkey player, and now as a system turnkey player, and slowly moving towards a product design house, actually. So just want to tell you something on what makes us someone as so special in terms of the silicon implementation, system design, and product design powerhouse. We have a internal technology framework, which is patentable technology framework with 22 patents being filed on that, called IVA. To convert any idea to a product, there are three things involved. One is the engineering capability, engineering talent. Then you need the design environment and the tools and the techniques and the infrastructure and the implementation management. Combining all these, we have come up with something similar to ISO OSI protocol, a network protocol similar to that with set of algorithms and protocols. It's called IVA. 22 patents are about to be filed on that. I just want to talk about another initiative called Pepper Labs, wherein we work on the vision, we work on sensor fusion, we work on sub-gigahertz kind of technologies, and we are also working on heterogeneous computing. So with these kind of work that is happening within the Pepper Labs, we do have the basic building blocks. For someone want to have a, say, small electronics products to be designed, whether it involves a silicon design, it involves a system design, or it involves a ID and a manufacturing, supply chain management, we have built all those capability within Black Pepper, which can help any idea to be realized into a product. And this is what is Black Pepper in nutshell is about. I just want to mention about the 4 awards we won in the last 7 months. We have been named the Company of the Year by Silicon India 2016. We have won the Elsina Award for the Business Excellence in 2016. We have won the All India Achievers Award, All India Achievers Foundation Award for the contribution to Indian economy, actually. We have been also rated as the 50 top companies to work for in Asia Pacific by Silicon Review. With this, I will leave it to Paul.
Thank you. And I hope all the budding entrepreneurs who might have a hardware product to be built, they can at least talk to you, and you can maybe mentor them in the process.
Thank you.
Yeah. So last but not the least, and Vaidyanathan, thank you very much for being very patient. It was a random pick of all the 10 companies, but I think very important. You're monitoring air quality, right? Yeah. And the environmental quality. So using IoT, using sensors, using a lot of intelligent software. Please tell us a little bit about what you do at PAX.
Thanks, Ravi. Thank you all. We are talking about PAX is a ESDM company based out of Bangalore, And more about myself, if I may say, I'm from Bangalore, born, bred, buttered, now jammed also in Bangalore. I'm a UECE, I am graduate. And with the domain knowledge of air, weather, and pollution, we said we are going to use the technology to sense, measure the property of air, communicate it real time to the cloud, and get the data to do analytics and do some value added solutions to end customers. So with this as a thought, when we set up the facility, it looked far-fetched, but the good thing is we've been able to work on 3 different solutions. I'm going to talk about 2 of the solutions. One is the environmental sensor that we have developed for smart cities, and second is the respiratory healthcare solution that we have developed. Okay, this particular solutions, it's mapped here. We said our product should look nice and sexy, so it's designed like a space lab, and when it is mounted in poles, it does have to add to the aesthetics in smart cities. The good news is that we have deployed the solutions in Jaipur, Ahmedabad, and all the smart city projects that are going on in the country, and our solution is integrated with all the leading ICT platform. The bus that you're seeing at the bottom, it's globally first dynamic pollution control mapping. This particular solution has been deployed in India for the first time in the world, and the good news is that we got international inquiries for this particular solution. I talked about the other solution, that is Smart Inhaler. The moment you talk of mapping the pollution that a person is exposed to, what we decided and created was a Smart Inhaler that will map your medication continuously, understand where you get impacted due to the type of pollution, and will be able to alert the asthmatics in hostile environments. We have filed for global patents for these products, and the good news is we are currently conducting trials in 2 of the leading hospitals in Bangalore, Narayana Hrudayalaya and St. John's Hospital. And we are a startup based out of Bangalore. We are 14 people strong. The good news is, like my predecessor mentioned, we've also been recognized in the country several awards and confident of taking our solution to the world. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I think clearly a big need across the nation, and as we industrialize more and as more cars come in, I hope Tarun's electric vehicles will save us from some of the pollution downstream. But now I wanted to open it up for questions with first the Honorable Minister and Secretaries, if they have a few questions for our startups. That would be fantastic. We've had 10 different startups in 10 different areas, and I think very promising and outstanding companies. So would love your comments, sir.
Okay, Honorable Minister has asked me to start. That is my department on the left, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, and I am the Joint Secretary there. A question for Mr. Tarun Mehta, looks like a youngest startup around. Two things I would like to ask him, because there are 2 issues which face all the startups, and we are also working on taking care of those issues and sorting them out. One is, what are the regulatory hurdles you faced while you started your company or firm, whatever, and then the compliance you have to make to various authorities. So what are the regulatory issues we faced and how you handle them? And second, how could you arrange for funds? I mean, at the early stage, how could you prepare the pitch plan? How would you identify the investors? We'd like to know more about that.
Thank you, sir. So, since we're still a little early, I think some of the regulatory issues are just upcoming, since the plant is upcoming right now as we speak. One thing that we definitely notice where maybe the government can support us more, especially startups in investing in R&D, is startups like us apply for R&D recognition, which allows us to get a lot of equipment, which allows us to get a lot of testing equipment at a lower cost without customs and certain benefits. The paperwork for that is so long that the waiting period in customs, the demurrage charges often end up being more than the customs charges itself. Now, maybe that is just, obviously, and what we've noticed is as younger companies, we end up taking too long a time to do that. Maybe a little bit of support there on the import side, on the custom side, and purely only for testing and R&D purposes would definitely help at an early stage. I'm sure there are going to be challenges that we will uncover during the manufacturing stage itself. And as we grow bigger, there would be, I'm sure, requests on, whether on land or whether beneficial policies, but they may not be very different from any other company, honestly. I think as a startup, support in R&D would be very valuable. B, on the investment side, so just as context, so we have raised 4 rounds of funding till now, cumulatively about $44 million. So, and from a variety of investors, different sort of angel investors, folks like Sachin Binivansal of Flipkart, Tiger Global, and most recently Hero MotoCorp as there are Series B. What we have seen works, and it works only with a small set of people, is to not pivot too much, is to stick to your original vision. That's usually hard as entrepreneurs because, if an investor comes and tells you, well, why don't you stop doing this manufacturing thing that you're talking of and only build this IoT platform that can allow some control. It's easy to get swayed if that gets in the first round of funding. But sticking in with the original plan in our case, which was we'll build complete vehicles, we'll sell them, we'll do their servicing, and we'll brand out of it, and we'll invest a lot in R&D. That was pretty critical, and very counterintuitively turned out to be the only reason anybody's ever actually invested in us. I don't think we would have received even 1/10 of this funding had we changed our business plan at any point during the last 3 years. So sticking to the original vision seems to have worked the best. What we have also seen is every investor who's actually put in money in us has never really worried about the manufacturing challenge. So most people get it, that there is a very strong ecosystem that we have there. The real question comes on, can you actually design and build a product? Can you build it for this sort of reliability and customer expectations that you guys hope to achieve? That's the bigger question that we usually get, rather than, would you be able to manufacture this? So whatever that means, if that helps.
Thank you, Varun. I think, great example of how long sometimes the gestation period is. You're still taking pre-orders for your product, right? And 5 years in, you started in school, you raised $44 million. You're going to spend all that money right here in Karnataka and India, most likely. And yet, product, it takes that long sometimes, manufacturing a product from scratch. Sir, did you have any questions, Mr. Kharge?
Well, I think a lot of them have more questions for me than I think they expect more from the government. So, so actually, a quick question to Anand, because I think, of course, it's thrown open to anybody else as well. But one of the key things that I find in the startup ecosystem is more and more startups are failing. So 95% of the startups actually don't see the light of the day. And the government of Karnataka is very keen to see that there are fewer failures. Okay, and the funding, the mentoring, all that comes later. But how can the government help in idea validation? So you have this CDL, which is affordable CDL, which can actually save lives, which is also a social thing, and it has a social impact, and it's also a priority for the government. So I think we met before as well in the DST, this thing. So what happens is in the government, there are a lot of, we have to follow the Transparency Act, the KTTP Act, and all these things. But how can the government help startups validate their idea? Because in my own little way, we are trying to have open houses, wherein you can come, you can pitch, and we'll see how you can work with. But is there a way where we can validate your claim of this being affordable, this being this thing, useful to people, and then adopt it as well?
So one of the things that I noticed is in multiple different places where I've pitched, and the panel is sitting there to look at an idea, all of them have a view of the idea from their industry perspective or their experience perspective. So I guess the right experts for any domain that is being present in the panel will throw the right viewpoint towards the government or the agency which is looking forward to validate the idea. Most often I see that the panel sitting there does not have the prerequisite idea of what is being presented. So that can become a real challenge. With due respect, they all have experience in their areas, but one or two from the right domain expertise that is being presented always helps. So it's good for government to have a wide variety of experts which can be pulled on call to look at a particular idea, rather than have a fixed committee which actually clears ideas. So that I think will help because there are quite a few of them around. Yeah.
We don't have fixed committees. We do. We don't have fixed committees now. We do get the industry
Oh, okay.
experts.
Because some time back
so-
I had the experience of having a fixed committee there.
Oh, okay, with the government?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I hope it was not me there.
No.
Because we did that experiment recently. I think Ravi also was part of it during the first open house. Ravi Guraj was a part of it, and during the second, when we had tourism, we had the tourism open house. We had the industry expert, the EasyGo CEO, the Holiday IQ CEO, because they were the ones validating their thing. So my question was, how do I validate an idea so that I can push that startup towards mentoring, towards funding, towards their growth?
So second thing you already mentioned, sir, because I can already see the differences. Every time we startups pitch ideas, you can actually feel fear in the community of the disruption being attempted to. I think that is already almost gone now. The vibrant ecosystem is already said, let's look at everything that actually makes sense. So I think that has already come into place now.
Naveen, you wanted to add?
Yeah, so for every startup, the fundamental measure of success is, do you have a customer? And especially, do you have a paying customer? And that's one of the things, like in our warehouse, we always look for paying customers. So when we do have paying customers, we have to add more resources to go, actually convince the customer is the first challenge. But when we've done it, we need more support to actually scale that. So almost by doubling down, like even when we do not normal fundraising, typically you have government or large funders double down if you have a customer. So if you can use the validation, if we bring in to your department show, we have these customers, paying customers, can you double down and help us with funding? So the customer is validating the idea. That's the biggest validation. Any other validation is secondary. So if we have paying customers, if you can co-support by double down, like if we have 1 crore worth of orders, you provide support equivalent to that. That kind of thing will validate ideas better because they're real customers.
Deborah?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment. I mentioned this earlier that ours is a company of many small startups. While it may sound strange, we're the ugly global large MNC. We truly are a company of startups with an incredible amount of innovative entrepreneurial spirit. And I really commend the government of Karnataka for taking that approach of bringing in experts. At the core of success is the innovation process itself. So your idea may be the greatest, but we all know the ideas die at different rates depending on how good your preparation is, how strong the value proposition is for the customer, and truly what is at the core of your proficiency. Idea is not a proficiency, right? So there are companies that truly are experts in the innovation process. And we are more than happy to offer our expertise to the government of Karnataka. If you want to bring us into the right forums, we're excited to be a part of innovative ecosystem. It's not about closed innovation, it's about open innovation. We love being in countries. As a country, our track record on IP is really low. We are all working together to hopefully change that in partnership with the government. Call upon us, we would be happy to share. Again, young startups, please do reach out to us. We're working with several startup folks like Ravi and others who are experts in this area. Learn the process of innovation. Often that's truly what's your limiter, not the idea. The ideas, I'm sure, are disruptive and great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that offer. Madam Manjula, madam, did you have a question? No. Okay. We'll open it up to the audience then.
Can I
Yeah, we got
respond
some
to the
questions.
minister?
Yeah. We'll get the
Dr.
mic to you,
Ravindran.
please. Go ahead. Whoever's got the mic. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Dr. Ravindran.
Yeah.
I want to respond to the minister. He has a very valid point in what he says. I don't know how many of the investors would have that experience and come out of it. Most of the investors don't reveal it. That's a sad thing. But addressing the minister's concerns, as a senior management-trained doctor, physician, PG physician, in fact, I did my MBBS here in Bangalore. Lot of opportunities are there in healthcare. But the unfortunate thing is the techies in the technological institutions, they don't have any idea or interaction at all with us. And but being from reputed institutions like IIT, they are able to get their hands on huge amount of funds. We are not able to get even small amount from their peer group, from their colleagues who have graduated earlier. And many fail. Many fail. with or without equity
you have a
investment
question,
from
please?
India, my suggestion is, in the context of what you mentioned, sir, the open forum. I've attended a lot of things, open forums. Our IP is out in the open. That is something which we can't digest, especially in light of our experience where we go to VCs and finally they are also not aware and knowledgeable in such sectors. After taking our IP, they still don't give the funds.
So
So
could
we
you-
like to
could
do
you-
it in a
could
closed,
you-
1 minute. We like
could
to
you ask
do it
a
in a closed
question?
environment where our IP is protected, and at the same time, I fully understand the minister's concerns. When they invest as a government, they are responsible and they are accountable, and we can suggest systems in which that will be addressed. Thank you.
So I'll just address two things which I thought I understood. Firstly, there was a thing on the open house. So why the government of Karnataka does these open houses is to understand the startup ecosystem better. And in these open houses, not everybody comes for funding. And it's not that we have money in a bag down and as soon as you say, your idea is good, we give you money. It's not that. So some people come for funding, some people ask for mentoring, some people ask for legal help, some people ask for idea validation within the government, some people ask for a policy change, some people ask for a rule change, some people just come to understand what the government can give. So there are various things that happens during that entire day of open house. And that having been said, you asked about IP and patenting as well. The government of Karnataka also does, also reimburses money for startups for IP and patenting as well, and we also send them abroad or to any other meets like these for networking as well. So we are well entrenched with most of the things that you have suggested.